This was not my first, second, or third time doing this beauty's hair. At this point, I have been doing her hair for about a year, probably a little longer than that, but this was our regular pattern. So today I want to explain it a little more so that way you can see yourself in this video and begin to make some changes. So welcome to the Simple Life. This was in February of 2017. At the time, I had my own product line. Nothing happened. There was nothing bad, but it just wasn't for me. Give this video a thumbs up and click on that bell notification after you subscribe so you're notified every time I post another video. I don't have my product line anymore, but my favorite leave-in conditioner and heat protectant is by Kimra. Left it on the screen, and you can also click it in the lower left hand corner and in the description box, so do check it out. Right, so at this point I am now going through and flat ironing her hair. Again, this is in 2017. In 2017 I was on social media heavy, like heavy. I had just broken the 100K barrier here on YouTube, and I was making this was around the time your girl was booked for months in advance, and that went on for years up into my retirement. So anywho, now I am just going through and flat ironing her hair. Now when I did hair, we had a pre-consultation where we would talk about their hair, and then I would give them their deep conditioning treatment after their scalp exfoliation and all of that, like whole nine, right? I was a hair scientist. It was not just a regular hair appointment. And then while they were under the dryer, I would go into the break room. It's so easy to put your client's hair under an electron microscope with your laptop. It is so easy. Mind you, she's under the dryer with the deep conditioner treatment for 15 minutes. It only takes me 5 minutes to look at it and assess everything, right? So yeah, that is what I did. So at this point I already know what type of hair shaft disorder she has, and now I am straightening her hair so that she can see it, and then I am going to show the hair shaft disorder to her, you know, on my phone or on my laptop. I think I showed it on my laptop, and she got to get the mirror and see what it looked like. And then from that point on, she got the chance to make that decision on whether or not she wanted to cut her hair. After I gave my recommendation, I told her what I recommend that she does, and then I told her what would be safe for her to do. So really quick, I want you to pay attention to the side by her face, and I want you to pay attention to how short those pieces are. Now all of the videos that I am doing now are for an example. The video that you are watching now had over like 500,000 views when it was posted to my channel. Now it is unlisted, and we'll talk about that in a split second. It's unlisted, but I was given the same exact explanation then, right? But again, I'm now straightening her hair so that we can really see everything, because curly hair or thick hair, it lies, right? So as you go on, this is what the hair shaft disorder looks like. This is not the exact photo, but this is what it looked like. Obviously I do not still have all of my clients' photos from 2017, like for real. So now I am giving her the mirror and letting her see it. She already saw what it looked like under the microscope, but now she gets to see it in person and get my recommendations and make her decisions, right? So with this beauty here, she was all for initially getting rid of the damage, right? And again, as we are going, I need you guys to pay attention to the way that I'm cutting her hair. Now we have so many uneven pieces, and back when I was on YouTube, this comment right here and comments like it, even though this video is 7 years old, right, about almost 7 years old, that comment, those two comments were 5 years ago and 3 years ago. Now all of the videos are unlisted because I was just so tired, y'all, of seeing it every day. to have to wrestle with your clients in the salon and then post it online to share and have people in the comments. Oh, for years, y'all, like 5 years ago and 3 years ago, it was. This is why I'm reposting all these videos now, because I'm in a different mental space where I could just block people and it doesn't bother me at all. So, because they still come. But anyway, now I want you guys to think about something. Her damage is coming from wash and goes. She was apple cider vinegar, wash and go, and all of those things. And her favorite style, I remember, was a quick weave. So her scalp was a breeding ground for bacteria. On the screen is a picture of the natural bacteria that lives on the scalp, and as you can see, it is a colonizing bacteria. So if you are having something like a quick weave, even though quick weaves are good, we called it quick weaves for a reason. It's supposed to be in your head quick, baby. It's not called a quick weave because you do it quick. It's called a quick weave because you have it in your head quick. It's a quick style you have real quick. But most people have a quick weave in for months, right? Some people keep a quick weave in for months. Just because a hairstyle looks good does not mean that you should keep it in your head. Just because you can camouflage it doesn't mean you should keep it in your head. And I want you to think about everything that I teach you on the channel about skin cell turnover. If you're new here, go look at videos on my channel, and everything that I teach you about the colonizing bacteria that lives on the scalp, which is the reason you shouldn't oil and grease the scalp. If you don't believe me, you don't have to. And if you want to learn more, go look at other videos on my channel. But it's imperative that you understand that the colonizing bacteria lives on your scalp even with freshly washed hair. So the longer you leave your hair unclean, the longer you leave it unkept, the more you risk your scalp becoming infested with this bacteria. And what the bacteria does, it makes it so your hair follicle is weaker, because the bacteria is eating the sebum within the follicle and causing an imbalance, right? But another thing, whenever you have a quick weave or frontals and anything that causes constant tension around your edges, where braiding and the braid, the first place that you have to anchor the braid is on your edges, or if you're always using edge control, these are all of the things that we constantly do, because the part that we care about the most is our edges. So you put all of the products there, your gels, your oils, your butters, and things of that nature. You put all of that there. In this video and in the next couple of flashback videos I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to show you that in the hair salon we were not slathering it. Well, I wasn't slathering edge control on my client's hair. I styled my client's hair with like hairspray, sometimes a wax stick, but not on the scalp, on my comb, or emulsified on my fingers and then apply lightly, right? But as we are going around, like those two grandkids, the comment they made said that I was like going back and forth and cutting because I messed up. No, you guys can only see so much, right? It's a whole nother view up close. I can still see where this hair shaft disorder is, because it's not, I'm in a way, it's not constant, right? I have to go and look and search for those pieces, because yes, I'm giving her a haircut for her hair to be cute, but she is getting a corrective haircut where I am getting rid of this hair shaft disorder. So I'm going in, I'm creating layers, and I'm getting rid of all of the splits, because if I don't get rid of these splits, her hair will not thicken up. And stick around, because we're gonna see 4 years down the line in a couple of seconds. 4 years down the line, you'll see what I mean. But anywho, at this point, I'm just going in. She has no oil added to her hair. The only thing in her hair is a leave-in conditioner and heat protected. That is it, and that is all. The shine that you see in videos and hair videos is not coming from oils. It's not coming from butters. It's coming from the natural sebum that lives within the human scalp. And guess what? Sebum is a listen to me, sebum is a waxy substance, So when you go to the hair salon, right, I'm shampooing your hair with the hot water. I am opening your follicle. right, and your cuticles, and the sebum is able to flow, right, because I'm giving you a deep conditioning treatment after a scalp exfoliation where I removed layers of dead skin so the sebum can flow freely, right. Then on freshly cleansed hair, I'm blow drying it. So I'm gonna ask you something. We're gonna unlock common sense, right? What happens when you apply heat? Even like a blow dryer. What happens if you apply a blow dryer to wax, right? To a candle? The wax is going to melt. Yeah. So the reason that I like to use a round brush is because the bristles are smaller and it allows me to distribute your natural sebum with a blow dryer. Listen to me. The natural sebum that is coming out of your scalp is not traveling down just willy-nilly like the oil that you squeeze from a bottle. It is a waxy substance. You have to comb your hair and brush your hair, and that initial blowout at the beginning of the week, or that initial roller set at the beginning of the week, it calms the sebum down, allows it to move down the hair shaft, even under the dryer. Look at her. Look at her sebum. That's sebum, y'all. So this is in 2019. This is right before I retired. Now, if you go back and look at her hair now versus when she first came to me, now, this is how her hair looked when she first, well, not when she first came, but before I got the breakage off during her Team Natural stuff. She listened. She stopped doing the wash and goes. She stopped doing apple cider vinegar rinses, all of those things, right? Look at her curls right here and the density of her hair right here, right? And now, look at the density of her hair after she stopped doing all of the Team Natural stuff. Listen, y'all, when I tell you that really paying attention to the way that the human body actually works, look at that. It is a complete and total difference, right? Look at the difference in her density from that before and after. That's crazy. And so this is something that I really want you guys to think about. This is the same woman. This is the same woman. Now, she listened to me as it pertains to the wash and goes, the apple cider vinegar rinses, all of that. But as it pertains to the protective styles, or the things that she saw as protective styles, that was another story, because in that case it was still messing with the way that her edges looked at certain points around her hairline in the front and the back, right? Because even though you see a protective style as a protective style, a lot of times your protective styles are something that your actual hair needs protection against, because around your edges are the places that are anchoring everything on. So the longer you leave them in, the more you risk tension and breakage around the edges, which you guys will see in a second, right? But as you can see, as it pertains to her actual hair follicles, with her stopping all of the Team Natural things and all of that jazz, she was able to heal her scalp. We were able to heal her scalp. I was able to get rid of her hair shaft disorder, so that way the new hair that grew out did not have splits in it, because no matter what you do, if you do not get rid of the damage that is on your hair shaft, it will not thicken up. There is no product that you can use, that you can put on your hair, that is going to mend your broken ends. Olaplex never has stated, nor have I ever stated, that it mends broken ends. It is a bond reconstructor, meaning that it prevents breakage. And if you are right at that tipping point, right before those ends are about to split because they are just a little weaker, Olaplex is able to reinforce those bonds, right? But this is the thing. We have to change our routines and our patterns, and we have to keep up with maintenance practices, because so far over the last over 12 years, everybody has been using hair care or learning hair care or following hair care practices from the defense instead of playing offense. What I mean by that is we're always looking for a product to give us more moisture. We're always looking for a protein treatment, right? Some type of treatment. That's all defense, defense, defense. Like you're trying to treat breakage, you're trying to mend something, you're trying to repair something. But how about you have routines and patterns that cause you to never get into those states, period, right? A lot of people get offended when I say this, but one of the biggest arguments across social media is how to detangle hair, right? How to get rid of mats and tangles, or women with naturally curly hair like myself always say, oh, well, it hurts when I comb my hair. It hurts when I brush my hair. But my question to you is, what practices do you have that allow your hair to get so matted and so tangled that it's not able to be combed? Because I can tell you that I have never been in a state, even with having 2 C-sections, like with 2 babies back to back, right? I never have had tangled hair. So what are your practices? If you've been sick, that's different. But if you just every day, Jill, why is your hair so tangled and matted that it hurts to comb? Why does your detangling process before you wash your hair take 2 hours? That's crazy, you guys. And this is coming from a person who stood behind a chair for over a decade, well over a decade, right? Doing 13 people a day. A detangling process should never take 3 hours. Now, I know some people will say, oh, that's easy to say for you because you've been doing hair for this long, but I have not always done hair. I have not. And even when I was in cosmetology school, before I got on the floor, detangling the human head should never take 3 hours. It should never take 4 hours. You're doing something wrong, my love. There are patterns and routines that you can follow, right? The same patterns and routines that the professionals around the world, not in America, not Black women, no. The steps and patterns that hairstylists from all races and all ethnic backgrounds for all textures take. Detangling the hair on the human scalp should never take 3 hours. It should never take 5 hours. Drying hair should never take 6 hours. It should never be done overnight. Now, if these are things that you desire to do, you can still do them. I'm not trying to change you. And if you don't agree with me, baby, this ain't the place for you. So I don't even really understand why you're still here. But if you are looking to learn new things and to increase the density of your hair, then you're going to have to change your patterns and your routines, because hair does not break on its own. A lot of times I get the question like, oh, Cyn, my hair just keeps breaking, this and that. What product do I use? You don't need a product. What you need to do is go sit down with a notebook and figure out what your patterns and routines are and what are you doing to cause this type of breakage. Hair is not just plotting against you while you sleep and snoring and pooting and stuff like, how we gonna break? She thinks she got some length retention, but we ain't retaining nothing. Yeah, guys, I need you to think about that. Now, as it pertains to her hair and her length, her ends look, oh, they look okay, right? She made it clear that she didn't really, like, she wasn't gonna be into, no matter what she saw, she wasn't cutting nothing. She just wanted a regular little trim. So this is why I'm just dusting her ends, right? The only time that it's like super duper imperative that you are only cutting hair when it is bone straight is the density of your client's hair. Some clients, the density and the texture of some clients' hair, you can see it. Like, I can see it clearly. And her hair may look super duper thick to some people, but it's not, right? So I can see her ends very, very well. Very, very well. And we're just really dusting them, basically. I'm just dusting them. Just a basic trim. Just a basic trim. Now, When I said that never cut hair when it's stretched, I'm talking about a haircut. You don't give a precise haircut on hair that is not stretched. But at this point, she already has the haircut in place. We're just following up, right? I'm just going through and trimming. The shape of her hair has already been made. She doesn't want to check to see if there is still a hair shaft disorder or anything. But at this point, I'm pretty confident in her actual hair shaft. It is just the patterns and the routines that she uses as it pertains to her protective styles, right? Because look at, as I'm pulling her hair up, and you can see the density in her hair that I'm holding, but you can see how it's thinner along her hairline in the back and in the front, right? And this is coming from her protective styling, but her hair that has actually been protected is good. When she left, I let her know like exactly what to do when she has her protective styles, right? How to braid her hair up to make sure she's getting trims right before all of them. So even though like it wasn't like, oh, I cut her hair that one time in the first clip and then I didn't see her again until 2019. No, that's not it. But our relationship was like, she comes to me in between her protective styles, right? So when she's not getting a weave, when she's like, whenever she takes it out, that week that her hair is not going to be in a weave, she comes see me. That was how her hair routine, her hair patterns work. Even though her hair is healthy, right? The hair that's not broken off around her edges. This is the example that I want to give you guys when I'm saying that, yes, I understand you've been doing things your way and your hair is healthy and all of this and all of that, but imagine if her routines and patterns were just slightly different, right? And it wasn't wearing weaves all year and then only taking it out once. And not just weaves, because weaves are not the problem. Actually, weaves are my favorite protective styles, but her favorite was not sew-ins. Her favorite were quick weaves, right? So glue. Now, as you can see, she's like, her hair has the thickness and the fullness that she wants, right? But again, we're going through because she is going to have her hair out for a week, and then she's going to go home and wrap her hair and all that jazz. She knows what to do. And then after that, she's going to wash her hair after a week or two and then go get whatever protective style she decides to do, right? And so this was our pattern and this was our routine. And she was one of my favorite clients, personality wise, like super duper sweet chick, like super sweet. But this was one of the things that made me decide to focus on the science of hair and come at the hair industry from a different perspective. Not that I had fallen out of love with the hair industry, nothing like that, right? But I really wanted to inflict change on a different way. Like, it gave me a rush to see the before and after. So if you were to go back to the beginning of the video, and you can see the density of her hair at the beginning when we first started working together versus the density of her hair now, right? I was like, in my mind, like, oh my God, like, just imagine what I could do for people if I didn't have, to be in here for doing 13 people back to back every day. Even though I love doing hair, I was so tired and I didn't have the energy to put into anything else. And I'm just having a transparent moment here. These are just my thoughts, just my feelings. At that point, it was like, okay, I'm burnt out, right? If I've been doing this, and this is just an example, this beauty here is just an example, right? One of our first cuts, that wasn't our first one, but one of our first cuts was in 2017. And so here we go, 2019, and we still in the same spot in some places within her head. And you can imagine that after she left out, there were like 5 or 6 more in that day just like this beauty, but at the beginning of theirs. And I'm having to have the same conversations with them that I had with her in 2017. And it just felt like I was in like the sunken place, or not the sunken place, but you know those movies where it's like they're being tortured because it's not that life is bad, but they're just reliving the same day over and over and over and over and over. And after so many years of doing it, and after seeing that no matter what, nothing was going to change, because they knew that even if they messed their hair up, that Cyn would fix it. And they would say that to me, and even though it to, I don't know, from the outside looking in, or I don't know, it could sound like that's flattering, but it wasn't, because that's not what I wanted to do. Like, I in my mind saw, not her, I'm not speaking of this beauty here, I would see my clients like her with hair today, but then it's like, I know for a fact that we can get it done in months, right? I know we're not hair to your butt in months, but I know that we can fix this in months, and I know I can, give me a year and I can get you to whatever your hair length goal is. But to just be stuck in a place that most of my clients should be in after 4 months of working with me, and they still in the same place 2-3 years after working with me, it was like, okay, no. Because it was like, am I a fraud? You know what I mean? As it pertains to my job. So it wasn't like, oh, I hate doing hair, and no, I love doing hair in this art form, but I am a scientist and I'm more in love with the human body as a whole, right? My clients understanding that it's not just their hair routines and their hair patterns, but also their diet, right? And being able to break that down to them, because let's be honest, baby, let's be real. Maybe some people are going to agree, but for the most part, when you are going in to see your stylist, most people on their phone the whole time they're there. So you definitely not trying to get a lecture or hear them tell you about your diet and how to reset your hair growth cycle. Like, nobody's trying to hear none of that. Like, really, nobody. And you can tell, right? A comment that I get a lot, people will be like, oh, why don't cosmetologists say anything? Y'all, the beginning of this video was in 2017, and I started doing her hair probably the year before that. And before her, I had so many clients, more clients than I can count like that. And guess what? By the time 2019 came along, this is the reason I quit, because I would literally start trying to tell people the stuff that I tell y'all here in my videos, and they would be like, Cyn, I know, but it worked for me, and I've been doing it for this long. And so, listen to me, I don't know how y'all get down, but after the 100th person tell you to basically mind your business and just do their hair, you mind your business and you just do their hair. And this has been going on for a very long time, y'all, for over a decade. A decade is 10 years. It's been going on for over a decade. So when everybody is like, oh, cosmetologists won't say nothing, it's because mentally we've trained ourselves to mind our business. And I left the industry because this isn't the business that I wanted to be mine anymore. I didn't want to be a part of the problem. And I felt like by just shutting up and minding my business and just keeping my science to myself, I wasn't helping, right? And that's something that I really want people to like understand wherever you are looking for cosmetologists, or wherever you are thinking about the fact that most cosmetologists don't say anything. Whenever you're thinking about the fact that most cosmetologists are just like letting things happen, they're not just letting stuff happen, y'all. Like, it's almost mentally in your head. Mind your business, right? So leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about what I've said so far. Her hair looks good, right? For what, for what I was able to do. Like, it looks good. And I was able to make sure that the way that I cut her hair back in 2017, the way that I cut hair for correction, right? And I understand that, like, her quick weaves and the way that she did her protective styles was not going to be something that she changed. So I gave her layers so that no matter what, when she came back, I was able to slightly camouflage it. So those pieces right there were always there. always, and most of the time they were getting worse, right? But and that's not an edit I made. That was an edit from years ago, because people in the comments would be like, look at her edges. So as you can see, there's no edge control. I just put the same heat protectant that I used to do her hair. I sprayed that on my comb and then combed it across her edges. Licensed cosmetologists are not packing edge control in. Edge control is one of the main reasons why most of y'all have scalp inflammation and thinning edges and all of that stuff. So we'll talk about it more coming soon, when you guys see my hair. I'll talk about that more because you guys will get to see new stuff. I'm so excited. But let me know what you think about this video. Leave some comments below. We didn't put the white on because I didn't really think that she needed to. Her ends looked pretty good. She was pretty cute. Her short bob had grew out to a longer lob, and you know, I haven't talked to her in years, and I hope that she's doing okay. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.